welcome back to the next episode of RealismCraft, and boy am I excited to see you guys. Absolutely astonishing. You guys made my day with the last video where we got to the end city, we got our elytra. There was such positive feedback to it. I just wanted to thank you guys so much for just caring enough to comment and watch it. It really means a lot to me. But let's start with a little bit of fan appreciation before we get into the theme of this episode. Yawn wash. Guess what? It got worse. Yeah, in the last episode, I had made it all the way to the end city. I died because an Enderman did not like me. As a matter of fact, Soup King, he had said that Enderman wanted me, and yeah, it was just a horrible thing. But he also said it was a nice save at the end, so yawn wash, Soup King. Yeah, pretty traumatic, but we got through it, and thank you for your kindness and support and making it through there. We got not only our elytra back, but several other goodies, so let's see if we get that in our episode. Sigma Skibid, that was a really nice comment you left. You said, new follower right here, bro. Gonna watch from episode 1, and that is just super exciting. You know what? That means a lot to me, and I hope that you're enjoying the series so far. A lot of work and efforts come into it, but it's because of fans like you that things like this can come about. So thank you so much for your kind comment there, and I really appreciate you following along with the series. And then, of course, Gennady1822. Wow. You certainly had a great idea, and I spent a lot of time thinking about your idea. You said that it would be a good idea to decorate the Stronghold. And I had asked you, what themes did you use for yours? And you had mentioned medieval themes. Well, that's the theme of this episode. We're actually going to be decorating this Stronghold together. Gennady, take a good look around. This is a very small room, and it is not going to stay like this. In fact, pretty much everything you see here is going to change in this episode. Hopefully, anyway. Big project, got it all worked out in my test world, so hopefully we can bring it to life. But not only bring it to life, we're actually going to introduce a little bit of lore into this world. Now, if we don't get it all finished in this episode, that's okay. We're going to expand on it in the next one. So this might actually be a 2-part episode. I don't know yet. We're going to make it work as best we can. But let me start with the biggest project here. And I'm going to delete this room. Well, I am back. And I severely underestimated how long this would take in survival just to clear out this big hole. But 2 hours later, let me show you what we got. Ta-da! This is a huge difference from what we just saw, right? So the original Stronghold room is not very big at all. It's maybe about like a 9x9 room. This is humongous considering that, and it took so much digging out. Let me show you what kind of goodies we got here. So all of this stone right here, diorite, andesite, all that cobblestone, that's everything that was dug out in the last 2 hours. In addition to all of this. Not only that, my pickaxe is almost broken. This one actually got quite a workout too, so yeah, I'll have to repair those sooner or later. But now we move on to the most important part, because this is the most time-consuming part. And Gennady suggested that we decorate the Stronghold, and I had a few ideas in mind. But one thing that he suggested was a medieval type style. So I was trying to think about what we could do to make this more medieval. And when I think of medieval, I think of like chains, I think of alcoves with maybe candles or lights, paintings, wood, all sorts of stuff, but mostly stone. And we're going to just kind of play off that with adding our own little unique twist. But first off, we have this kind of odd hole in the center. And one thing I did notice is that if you look through an end portal from underneath, or a Stronghold portal, yeah, we don't got nothing down here. But it's all on top, it kind of disappears. See? You can see it's one-dimensional, I guess, but at any rate, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually flood this chamber here with water, and we're going to go ahead and add some texturing. And how we can do that is we can use mossy stone bricks, we can use cracked stone bricks, and we can use stone stairs. So just kind of randomly, I'm going to go ahead and just carve out a little bit, and we can maybe follow along if you're doing this in your own world or something similar. But we want to make it look like perhaps this is caved in a little bit. So we can just do a couple spots here and there. It doesn't have to be perfect or any means, because we're going to be decorating with some stairs here in a second, so maybe flesh this out. There we go. And it's okay if it doesn't end up perfectly, because we don't have to have a perfect outline. Outlines like this that add just a little bit of space in between instead of like a whole row actually makes it look pretty nice. So let's go ahead and fill in these holes a little bit as well. And this one was a little bit more kind of haphazard, right? So we just went ahead and placed them in randomly, not too much detail. So this was more focused, this was not. The same way here, we can just rotate the stairs as we place them in. And it just really makes it look like pieces of the ground have been kind of chunked out a little bit, which is good. Once you're finished there, you want to go where your deep slate is and just go ahead and replace it with a mixture of maybe broken stone bricks and mossy. It could be however you want, or it could even be a little bit deeper. This is only just a little bit deeper underneath the Stronghold portal anyway, so the moss actually makes it look really good, and the cracked stone makes it look antique or old. Especially like in this area here, there's not really much to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and just place mossy because it pops out a little bit. And in the same in this area as well. And the thing is too, what this is actually doing is it's just making our little stronghold look more mysterious, more ancient in a way. You could do other different things like add grass or leaves or mud if you want to, but I kind of like this collapsed stone look. And once this is all filled with water, you'll see it'll look pretty good. But at least for now, what we're going to do next is we're going to work on the next layer of stone, the one that I'm standing directly on. We're going to go through and just kind of patch it out a little bit with some cracked bricks and some mossy bricks. And they give us a similar feel, right? This might be a good spot. That one might be a good spot. Same way in the back. The corner here. And when you're looking at this from atop, you can see that it's really kind of broken down, right? So maybe like in this area, you can see that the stone is slightly raised. Lower here, it's like looking at a maze or a labyrinth, which is actually kind of cool. Now, you could actually leave some of these stones out and just replace them like we did previously. But for the sake of kind of like this little tutorial build, I'm going to go ahead and just fill them in here and there. And in the end, you look something like this, right? So it's similar to how a stronghold wall would look. This next step is where we really bring our ruins to life. We're going to actually flood the area using our fancy water buckets here. I wish you could actually lava log it. I think that would be pretty cool, but I don't think that's a thing yet. So for now, we'll just use our water buckets and we'll get a good look at it. Okay, so this part can actually be a little bit tedious as well. But you're going to start by filling up pretty much all of your little stairs that you have indented in there. It's helpful to create an infinite water source because otherwise you're going to be going through a lot of buckets. And that you don't want to do that, especially if you come a long distance away. I had to actually break my... Ooh, there's an Enderman. I almost looked at him. That was a bad deal. I had to break my nether portal just to kind of make room for the build. So, yeah, this is the easiest method for me. So you do it however you feel best, you know? So with the stairs like this, this actually looks great for streets and other things like that, where you can have small little gutters or other stuff that you want the water to flow through. So if you didn't know that you could do this with stairs, a really handy trick. But the next best thing, so we're going to be flooding the rest of this. Ooh, there's an Enderman again. The guy's out to get me again. But the next best thing is to kind of go through and maybe we're going to texture a wall a little bit. So we can just pop a few things out here and there, and then same way, just add your mossy and your cracked blocks. Now a lot of this won't be seen because it'll be underwater, but it's still nice to have. And there's two Endermen in here. Oh boy. Sir? Ooh. Oh man. You have no idea. That made my heart race so bad. Especially after last episode, you know? So anyway, we went ahead and textured it. And now we just flood the chamber. And just like that, we have our own little pool. Now here comes a fun part of our build. We're actually going to add a little tiny slime mechanism, right? So this is going to give you an idea or a taste of the lore that we're going to be adding later into the episode, and let me just give you a hint and see if you can figure it out. So if we're going to be using our lily pad, so we can jump here, 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 and then in, and then we land on our portal, right? Man, that Enderman has got something against me. I don't understand what the deal is, but he needs to go away. Oh boy. Now before we build the main piece of the stronghold in terms of decoration, and things get a little bit froggy, we're actually going to be focusing on another aspect of medieval structures, so alcoves, right? So you might picture walking through a castle and you can see a little indentation to a wall. There might be candles inside that wall, or there might be leather or different kind of decorative items. So I wanted to take advantage of that and use alcoves in my stronghold decoration as well. So let me show, oh boy, don't look at me, don't look at me. Oh, I don't like this guy. What is he doing back there? Well, here, take that. I really don't know why he's here. Oh, that scared me. I don't know why he did that either. But he's just hanging around. He ain't teleporting. I was like, ooh. Okay, well, let's see if we can get these done without him being mad at us. So in my creative world, when I did my alcove, I just did a basic outline of some stairs with 2 gaps. There is something important that goes into the center. 2. And then we would just want to wrap it around, right? So it kind of looks like this. Each alcove is just, I think, about 4 or 5 blocks tall. And on the top, we're going to go ahead and place our torch for decoration. And since it's an alcove, we can usually have different kinds of items here. So if we wanted to, we can always put like a decorative block. And then if we get like a mob skull or an item frame, armor stand, we can put that right on top there, which is what we want. The next step is just to kind of fill it out with either glass or maybe iron bars. But in this particular case, we're also going to be making use of lecterns. Lecterns will come in handy when we introduce lore, so we'll get onto that a little bit later. But for now, we're going to space this 3 blocks apart and do 1 more beside it, and repeat the rest on the opposite side. Well, that was a lot of work. We went ahead and we put our alcoves in. We added a little bit of a fountains around the side, especially when it comes to water. And we dimmed the lighting a little bit with soul torches. So up on the roof we still have torches. We haven't finished the roof yet, so quite a bit more to go. We have our little lily pad slime bounce machine. We have a few gates in the back, and we have a missing feature that's directly behind me. Which is not there now, but it will be in the next episode. Because we have ran out of time. This was a lot bigger project than I really anticipated it being. But it was a fun one, and a lot of work went into it, so... And that being said, I hope that you can come back for part 2. Because in part 2, that's where things get interesting. We add our main figure piece in the back of this little stronghold. We introduce our lore. Maybe some books that tell about a certain history of this Minecraft world. So we have a lot of stuff to hop into. How about, though, to end our episode, let's take a sneak peek at what part 2 will bring.